Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. Thursday night football, the rematch to this banger earlier in the season where it went into overtime. Bengals Ravens. Bengals really need this one. Damn, they're 4-5. Feels like they're like 3-6. Okay, so
Mm.
if they could split, back in it, back in it. I know Bengals fans have to hate having the Steelers in the division though. It's just like they're like cockroaches. It's like, bro, like, can
I
y'all
think they used. I think they're used to it.
can y'all just do a rebuild, please? But
No, not Mike
um,
Tomlin, man.
yeah. So here we go. It's at 52 and a half. We were talking earlier. You said it was at 53 before.
Yeah.
All right, smooth. How you feeling about this one? You excited?
Um. Not necessarily excited, but I'm glad it's not going to be a stinker of a game. This is two premier teams in the NFL, two premier quarterbacks. Lamar, right now on his pace to his third MVP. So it's always nice to see him play, but not necessarily excited for the game.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited as hell, man. I just love seeing these two duke it out. Two premier quarterbacks, same division. One, and it's funny, like you said, Lamar's going for his third MVP, but Joe Burrow early on in his career made it farther than him, made it to the big game, almost had it. But Isaiah Likely is out. That's interesting. Did not know that was even like a possibility. It seems like the Bengals are a little bit more beat up than the Ravens, so that's going to be huge. T. Higgins, Orlando Brown Jr. is questionable. So, we've been talking a lot about that line. I think this is Trent Brown right here, another tackle. So, if Joe Burrow's able to pull this out, I'm back on the Bengals train because it would just be impressive. Like, yeah, that last game went into overtime, but T. Higgins adds like an element to this offense that would really help against all the weapons that the Ravens have brought in. And now we'll see if Deontay Johnson, you know, donuts in his Ravens debut, but let's see if he adds another element.
Yeah, I mean, he only had 16 snaps, which was kind of what I expected going into that one. I'm sure if they need him this week, especially with Isaiah likely being out, he'll be incorporated into the offense. You know what I mean? Probably going to get a better target share, higher percentage, and then also probably going to have more snaps on the field. Eventually, he's probably going to phase out Nelson Aguilar's role in the offense, and then from there, we'll see what kind of targets he demands.
Right. But don't sleep on Charlie Kohler. They're kind of reminiscent of the Chiefs where they use a lot of tight ends here, even with Greg Roman being gone. And PFF has him ranked fifth, right behind Mark Andrews. He's kind of been doing his thing recently. I think when they first played, he either might have had a touchdown or he had he made a slight low impact, but kind of expected when the score is like 40 to 35 or whatever it was.
Right, which would also bode well for Deontay Johnson too. You know what I mean? And again, I don't think he's taking anything from Charlie Color at all. I think he's the person he's phasing out in the offense is Nelson Aguilar. So you know what I mean? That's
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. His role is cooked. His role is cooked. Um, but yeah, with no T Higgins and no Isaiah Likely, in terms of betting, you want to look at guys like Yosivas. Uh, he's a rookie, right? Am I Trevor?
second year.
Second year. Yeah, I like his game. He can make some splash plays. Trenton Irwin, same thing. So these are the kind of guys you want to look out for that will have a good value for you because it's going to be another Chase and Gesicki week. And in terms of addition, speaking of Deontay Johnson, Khalil Herbert, they got from the Bears to supplement Zach Moss, who's on IR. I think is he out for the season, bro?
He's out indefinitely. When it's a neck injury, they don't really necessarily put a date on it, put a time on it. But yeah, he's out indefinitely with a neck injury. So timetable is unknown at this point.
Gotcha. And if the Ravens are able to pull this out, they got the Chargers next, so that's tough. I mean, if you don't win this one, you could easily lose your next 2 games, especially with the Steelers. You could lose your next 3 games. So this would be a big jolt to the offense. I mean, to the locker room, to the team in general. In terms of the Ravens, they're sitting pretty in the division and the conference in general. They're seed hunting. They got the Steelers next and the Chargers. So next 3 weeks, I love this part of the season because we know so much about these teams. You could kind of project who's going to be where, and it really starts to get strategic from a roster standpoint, from a game plan standpoint. Um, but yeah, if you want, you could bring up your some of your betting data.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, kind of similar to what Don was speaking to is, when once you get to November, it's cool because you do have data to use, and from there you can you actually have like a good supplement. You know what I mean? You have a nice sample size, so you're not going off of a 2 game winning streak or you know what I mean, trends that have hit for like 3 consecutive weeks in a row. You got trends and you got numbers and lines and picks, all of that stuff from close to 10 weeks worth of data. And with that amount of data, you can actually kind of, skim through it and understand what you're looking for, see what you can find. But at the same time, books, they're also going to be sharp too. So, it's still a cat and mouse game, but at least you have more data to play off of. And it kind of benefits you in the long run when you're making some of these player prop bets.
Yeah, I saw this on Twitter earlier today. I put this on my personal IG story. Just some head-to-head hit rates on some of these player props. Some of the ones that are like a little less obvious. Mark Andrews over 40 receiving yards. His hit in 6 of the 7 last matchups between the Bengals and Ravens. Jamar Chase over 5 receptions. Now I think his receptions are 7.5. So you're not going to get good value if you try to bring that down. But 7 out of the 8 last matchups.
You said it was over 3.5. I mean, you said it was 4.
5
4
plus
for reception. No, 4
5,
for receptions.
What do you mean 4?
For Mark Andrews.
40 receiving yards.
Oh, 44 receiving yards.
Not 44, just 40 plus.
It's
not the exact. It's not
well,
the
no, I'm
exact
just saying.
line.
I'm just saying that, like, you know what I mean. Like the books have it at 43, so it's just to show how like sharp.
Yeah,
exactly. They are based off of all of that information.
Yeah, exactly. Because you might take that data and let's say I said 6 for 7. So the past 7 games, he's gone over 40 yards 6 of the last 7 games. Easily hit 42, and it continues to hit in terms of that trend, but you just lost your bet.
Yeah. So, but again, I mean, like you said, he's been hitting that for a few years now, so it's not too crazy. Oh, well, last year is when he went for 23. So I guess last year is when he went over. I mean, went under. Oh, he went under. He went under both times last year. Oh, well, yeah, it was at 48.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. So it was at 48.5 last time. Noah Isaiah Likely, that's a 45. Mark Andrews has been getting going. He was kind of in Travis Kelce's boat where it was like, man, is this kid washed? Like, damn, why did I draft him in the 4th, 5th round? But they've been putting on recently. Another one out of the last 8 matchups, and 6 of those matchups, 35 plus pass attempts for Joe Burrow. Not sure. That type of bet is kind of like not as popular, but
I mean, it's starting to people put it on their parlays, so it's starting to be more of a popular bet, become more of a popular play that people are doing. But yeah, it's a little newer. It's more popular this year for sure than it was in the previous years.
The 2 I don't like that they put on here because, like, what do you mean by that? Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, 100% hit rate on 1+ pass touchdown. So are they saying 1, like 0.5? If it was 0.5, I don't really get that one.
I think I think what they're trying to say is for two touchdowns. I think
Then then then
that's what they're trying
then
to
this
say.
guy should have did 1.5. You know what I mean? That one's kind of confusing.
Right, but that's what happens when you get your shit from Twitter. You know what I mean?
Hey man, he has a yellow check. All right, he
No,
has a yellow.
not saying he not
This
saying
is
he not
not this is
certified,
not my
but
boy. I'm not
right,
vouching
that's
for yo. This is not my
that's what
boy. So
right.
hey,
You know
but
what I mean?
the last one I'd say
So
is
last time Joe Burrow had 5 touchdowns. So you might even, if you really feeling bold, you might be able to do over 3. I mean, over two and a
three,
half, over two
two
and a
and a
half,
half, or maybe even 3.5, because he's gonna
three
have
and
to
a
sling that
yeah.
thing.
I mean, it's definitely gonna be plus money. 3.5 maybe might be pushing it, but you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you could do it. It's in the data. Let's see how many times he's gotten to 3 touchdowns. 2 right here, 3 in Washington, 2 in Carolina, and they were smacking him to the ground. Against New Jersey, New York, none. He got 2 right here in Cleveland.
Do you
Got
just
one
call us
in.
New Jersey, bro?
Come on, bro. New York, New
Yo,
Jersey,
bro.
and then Las Vegas. So it's you know like again, it's Baltimore. They know each other, and in order for them to really win this game, it's going to have to be with Joe Burrow's arm. It's just all relative once they get to the goal line. If they're giving that to Chase Brown, or if they're just like, nah, we lost. We already lost one game trying to use the running backs. We just going to win this one outright. Joe Burrow all the way through.
Okay. Can you pull up Lamar Jackson's rushing yards?
Yeah. Now this is one that I personally, unless you feel like they're going to be going back and forth the whole game, like this is going to be like similar to the overtime game. I would probably pick the under on his rushing yards on in this game personally at 47. Now, I'm not
47
telling you to do
is
that.
47 is a little iffy. Now, what I didn't do his rushing yards. I did his pass plus the rushing yards. So I think I got it at around 290
I don't even see that one on here. I don't even see that.
with the
But
combination. But I
the
mean,
combination.
we
But I
could
can
do the math.
them. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I think was that total like
So
290, 291.
yeah, and you said you got it at 290 plus
Mm-hmm.
two. Yeah.
It
So
was about to be a 289, and then line movement happened.
I mean, right here, it looks like he's hit the over in this game 7 to 9 times. The only time he didn't hit the over was when they smashed out the team.
Right.
They basically were smashing out the Cowboys. They
So
smashed out
Buffalo and Fort Worth.
Buffalo. So Washington 323, Tampa Bay 281. This is like I can see it kind of being a similar game to this one. So it looks like as long as the game is high scoring, it does look like he's willing to use his. They're just going to use Lamar Jackson, the offensive weapon that he is. So this looks kind of like a sweet bet. If you feel like it's going to be a close game. If you don't, right? Yeah. If you feel like it's going to be a close game and not any kind of crazy shootout
Now,
or
would you
blowout.
sprinkle? Yeah, that's big, right? You kind of gotta apply your game script to the player props you're going to pick, because if you think, all right, no T Higgins, some O lineman missing, maybe Khalil Herbert isn't that big of a factor or whatever, and they smash him out, that might not be something you want to take. But speaking of Khalil Herbert, would you sprinkle anything on him? It should be pretty low since he's new to the team. But I feel like I get Kareem Hunt vibes for some reason. Not There's no science to it, but I feel like he's young. He has some juice. I think he really wants to prove himself and get more burn. So I wouldn't be surprised if he popped off like a couple big runs or a couple crucial runs or some angry runs here.
Yeah. Before we get on him, I did want to say one thing first. So it does seem like with the comparable players, it does seem like the two most comparable players to Lamar Jackson in the NFL right now, currently, Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts, uh, both smashed her over. So going back to this play, it looks like this one might be solid as long as we got us a ball game. That's just something to consider. It looks like this one is from all angles, this looks like a pretty money bet, even when you're digging through the weeds. But who are you talking about, Khalil?
Khalil Herbert, yeah. And in terms of that, if anything, that makes me feel more confident with the pass plus rusher yards play. It's a little insurance on each side. Maybe one goes under a little bit, but the other one really smashed through. Combined them.
Yeah,
Herbert like Justin Herbert. Boy.
I don't know. How you spell?
Boy.
How you spell his name?
Herber. I don't know where you're getting a hue from.
What?
No, I was talking about his last name.
Khalil.
Yeah, Herbert. You kept putting a U in front of it.
Herbert.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
Austin's an engineer, so my man's beyond it. Just you're not an English teacher.
But yeah, I mean, they don't even have odds for him. I guess that makes sense. It's kind of tough, but honestly, from an odds standpoint, if it's plus 500 for anytime touchdown, I would probably.
That's why I brought it up, because I have like a parlay that I'm more confident in. And then I have a parlay that includes a Khalil Herbert touchdown and a Deontay Johnson touchdown.
Yeah,
Deontay Johnson, just because the last time that they played, I think Rashad Bateman had a touchdown, Kolar had a touchdown. I mean, These are elite quarterbacks, so anybody could grab a touchdown. It doesn't just have to be Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Jamar Chase,
I mean, it's projected to be 52 points scored. So, I mean, there's going to be multiple touchdowns in this football game. And as good as Derrick Henry is, like, it would just be even for him, it'd be crazy for him to have 3 or 4 touchdowns in a game. You know what I mean? It could happen. He could do it. He's good enough for it. But yeah, odds are, in terms of like the people who score tonight, if it is a high scoring game, it's probably going to be ball's probably going to be shared. You know what I mean? And the production is going to be shared.
Now, with high over-under totals, how do you feel about betting on the kickers at all?
I mean, that's up to you. If that's how you feel. Like, I mean, I know, like, you can make some money off of them, especially if it's a situation where it's a close game back and forth, and you're only betting them to kick 3 field goals. You could probably hit that one. But again, if I'm doing a bet like that, I usually do them on games where I know it's going to go under, because I know they're going to be able to get to the 20, get to the red zone, but they're just not going to convert those into 7 points.
See, I'm glad I asked you that, because the last time where I was super confident in taking the kickers, I was like 1.5 field goals for both of them was when the Giants played the Steelers, actually. And I think that should hit in like the top of the second quarter. And that was supposed to be a low scoring game. It got a little bit more high scoring towards the end, but at first it was, they're going to play a conservative, especially a defensive coach like Mike Tomlin, and then Brian Daboll. He kind of flips a coin for how ballsy he's going to be in the game before the game, I guess, because he was down to kick some field goals that day.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I mean, not all I got, but for the most part for this game, that's probably what I would take. You know what I mean? I don't even know. Like, the only thing I really, really like a lot is Lamar Jackson to go over his passing yards. Like you said, if you want to just add more possibility to the bet, add both of them. But I mean, it looks like I've seen enough information I need from the passing yards to just go ahead and bite on that, and just deal with the rest of the game.
Gotcha. PFF has both these teams, the power rankings in terms of the offense, first and second. Ravens first, Bengals second. So if you're smashing the over here and it doesn't hit for whatever reason, don't kick yourself, because everything is telling you that, Keaton Mitchell apparently might play here too. So I would avoid Justice Hill on your tickets, because we don't know what that's going to be looking like. That's just my opinion. How you feel about that?
I mean, I guess we'll see if he's off the IR and they're saying that he's healthy. I'm sure I'm sure it wouldn't kill him to let him spell Derrick Henry really quick or give him a few carries when they're in the 2 minute drill just to see what he got, see what kind of juice he has.
Right. Now, in terms of the outcome of the game, 6 points, Baltimore -6 at home. How do you feel like the game is going to go? I think it's smarter to take the Bengals to cover just in case, they're desperate here. Should be a relatively close game. Ravens might, it could seem like by the game script and the game flow that the Ravens are dominating and end up only winning by 4 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, this is a game where I'm probably not betting the line on this one right here. Maybe if I did, I would probably take the lean the Bengals, but that's just off the fact that they're in a more desperate spot. But
Yeah, just the fundamentals.
Without T Higgins being there, it's a little different for Jamar Chase without T Higgins. So I'm pretty sure the last game that T Higgins played in was this Baltimore game.
Yeah, and they both went. They both went off. So it's one of those
Right.
situations. Like I like to compare their wide receiver room and just the impact of both these guys to AJ Brown and Devontae Smith on the Eagles. They both are able to perform at the same time. I remember early in the Bengals, like this Joe Burrow run. Once they got Chase there, because T Higgins was there first. I remember seeing some fantasy teams that would run out both of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you were lucky to, have them both on your roster that year, that definitely was beneficial for you. But yeah, you know what I mean. They're able to teams are just able to play Jamar Chase different when it's just Jamar Chase, and you know what I mean. Even the data kind of shows that they know too that he's going against the Ravens, and the Ravens are a struggling pass funnel defense right now. So because of that, they also have him up. That's part of the reason why he's also up to 83.5. Again, it's Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase likes playing the Ravens. So, he could have one of his amazing games where he goes over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. But it looks like the way teams are playing him right now without T. Higgins, he actually hasn't been able to get off like that. So just be mindful of what the data is showing. Let's see what we can do with players. Actually, no. Let's see what we can do. But yeah, let's do with players real quick. Okay, so that's with T. Higgins. So he did have 2 games with T. Higgins where he did go under 2. And then let's see what happens without T. Higgins. You know what I mean? So again, that doesn't mean it's not true. It's just ways that you can analyze this stuff, break it down, and kind of learn a little bit in regards to how you're spending your money.
Yeah, you giving them that good game. I know you got this joint bookmarked.
No, I mean, it's just kind of how I work, though. You know what I mean? That's just how I get it figured out.
Right.
So, and then even you can filter it any way you want. You want blowouts, non-blowouts, all of that. So yeah, it's a nice little tool.
Nah, for sure. I hate his receptions. That's just because I could see him having like 6, 7 catches for like 125, a touchdown or 2, and then it's like you looking at him like, yeah, can you be mad?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a pass funnel defense though, and like obviously the books know that. So, and we're 2 hours away from the trade deadline, so they, you know what I mean. They're obviously going to make sure that they shoots all of Jamar Chase's stats. It's a lone game, so they're not worried about the AJ Browns and all that of the world. So yeah, they definitely gonna be tight with his. I mean, it's even juiced to the under right now, so something to look out for.
What are you saying about the trade deadline? That joint was 2 days ago.
I didn't say anything about the trade deadline.
All right.
Yeah. I said it was a lone game, though.
What?
Like a lone game? Like it's a standalone game. So that's usually the
I
line
could
just
I could
doubles.
I could have sworn you said something about like 2 days after the trade deadline. Maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I'm
don't know.
schizophrenic.
But yeah,
But yeah, and this Ravens defense isn't the defense of old, so they haven't been playing crazy well. So wouldn't be surprised if Joe Burrow's able to pick them apart even without T Higgins.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I was kind of trying to allude to is like that's what. So when they say pass funnel, it's like their off their run defense is fine. Like they don't have a problem with their run defense, but their pass defense is bad, which is why like the Joe Burrow stats and everything is juiced up. You know what I mean? Because you can't. They're not going to be able to. They don't predict that they'll be able to do much on the ground.
And that's another reason why, like the injury discrepancy between the two teams. I think it was like a week or so ago where there's no Nate Wiggins, there's no Marlon Humphrey, but they're here, they're playing. So but I still expect Joe Burrow to get busy. That might just be the fan in me that wants a nice. I just want to repeat it last time, but now we have it in a prime time spot, so I'm pretty boosted. I think it's going to live up to expectations. And just to keep it interesting, I hope the Bengals win. To be honest, I think I'd rather have them in the playoffs, even though I do believe once again the Steelers are going to make it. But if you're the Bengals, you're kind of hoping that 3 teams coming out the division.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the Bengals, even if they were to lose this game, I think they'll be able to get it figured out. You know what I mean? They'd be
Even with the
four and
games they
six.
have coming up.
Yeah, yeah. If they're a playoff team, you got to beat playoff teams.
For your playoff team, you got to beat the Patriots week 1.
Huh? No, no. I mean, not necessarily. People blow teams. You know, last year, freaking Cleveland lost to the Jaguar. I mean, San Francisco lost to like Cleveland, and I remember last year when the Jets sucked. Philly lost to the Jets. Like teams they'll lose those games, but you just need 10 by the end of the year. You need 9 by the end of the year. Like even if they lose this, they're 4 and 6 compared to you know what I mean. Some of these other teams out here that are like 2, 3 and 7, da 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 da. Like they're still straight. They could probably go to 10 and 7 or even 9 and 8 and get in with that last spot. So
In
like they're going
the
to go on. They're
well,
going
the
to go on a
AFC
run.
hasn't. Honestly, if anything, the NFC has been kind of coming for that crown in terms of best conference. So maybe 9-8 does it. I mean, we'll see. But I
There's an
just
extra
think,
playoff spot.
yeah, I'm hip. We're 7, but I don't know. I just think it's tough. They kind of have a gauntlet in front of them: Ravens, then Chargers, and then Steelers. But it's interesting because the Ravens have those 2 matchups next as well, and then they have their last game of the year, Steelers. I don't think Mike Tomlin's going to be benching anyone that game. That's probably going to be the determining factor right there for how the
Well, yeah.
AFC shapes up.
I mean, that's how the NFL want it. They want you playing for something at the end of the year. So we'll be watching this thing all the way through. You know what I mean? That's the good thing about November. Football starts now.
Starts now. Yeah, but you got anything else for this?
Nah, I'm good.
Any best bets? Your favorite pick?
Nah, I mean, like I said, basically, Lamar Jackson over in passing yards. But or obviously, if you want to feel if you feel obligated, go ahead and get a little Derrick Henry anytime touchdown, probably over 70 alt line over 70 yards in this one. But yeah, it's just kind of simple today.
True, true. Well, yeah, I'm about to get ready to get some tequila, get ready to get prepped for this game. Amazon Prime shit. But matter of fact, like and subscribe. We'll have like, love, lock for y'all. Next up, touch on some more of these games, and hopefully y'all doing well in fantasy, man. Now that season, that starts now too. It's the funny part.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but catch y'all. Enjoy the game, man. Thursday night football has been kind of popping this year, so I know
Yeah, I
Amazon
mean,
happy.
yeah. They probably demanded that though. They were like, "Yo, y'all got to give us some better games."
Yeah, who do you think we are? I'm Jeff Bezos. Stop
Right.
playing with me.
So, but yeah,